So how are you today? Okay, so today we would like to start our lesson with a story, right? So can you please type in the chat box if you know Warren Buffett, right? So type in the chat box, who is he? Warren Buffett. Who is he? Very quickly type in the chat box, who is Warren Buffett? So if you know who is he, please type in the chat box, who is he? And if you don't know, type in the chat box, please don't know, okay? So he's the billionaire, right? He's the billionaire investor in the USA. So type in the chat box, billionaire investor. I'd like to make sure you follow me. Billionaire investor, right? So he has got a few billions in the bank, right? So one day, a journalist asked him that what's the best investment in your life, right? That's the question the journalist asked him. The question was, what's the best investment in your life? So can you please type in the chat box, what's the question the journalist asked to billionaire Warren Buffett? What's the best investment in your life? Type in the chat box. What's the question? Because this question is very, very important. If you do understand the answer, so you are done, right? So what's the best investment in your life? Okay. Quickly, very quickly, please type in chat box. What's the best investment in your life? What's the best investment in your life? Okay. Very quickly, type in the chat box. The question is, what's the best investment in your life, right? And you know, the billionaire, he was giving the interview, so a lot of audience, they expected a lot of things. They are very excited. What's the billionaire is gonna say? And you know, he's investing a lot of money in Apple's stock. It's not Apple, it's Apple computer, mobile phone, this company, right? And he also invested a lot of money. The company is called Coca-Cola. So everybody was thinking, okay, probably he's gonna say either Apple or Coke, but he didn't say that. He said something that was very, very crucial. He said, my best investment in my life was the invest money to Dale Carnegie's cassette. Dale Carnegie. Please type in the chat box. He said, the best investment in my life was to invest a course with Dale Carnegie. Type in the chat box if you heard me right, Dale Carnegie. Okay, yeah, that's right, Dale Carnegie. So Dale Carnegie that time, so he used to teach how to speak English fluently, right? How to give a speech, how to give a presentation in front of the crowd. That's what he was teaching. And also billionaire Buffett, he said, you know, I had so many skills, but I didn't have the skill which I can convert. And once I got the skill from Dale Carnegie, it helped me my whole life. And after that, I was able to just transfer my skill to someone else or some companies. And this is how I became the billionaire, right? So there was the Dale Carnegie. So now I'm going to ask you a question. So what's the best investment in your life? Please type in the chat box. What's the best investment in your life? Please type in the chat box. I'd like to see your answer. Then we're going to move forward. What's the best investment in your life? Type in the chat box. What's the best investment in your life? Okay. It might be anything. For example, for me, the first investment in my life was to have a course with Randy Peterson. So he was a language teacher, and I had a course with the American guy, Randy Peterson. So once I used to do what is called, I used to have a lot of English lessons from here and there, but all of a sudden, when I got American, a native speaker is teaching English, then I got into his course, and that changed my whole life, right? So the course of rendipitation that changed my whole life. So what's the best investment in your life? So I have, it's not just only one. Probably you might have many investments in your life. The second investment I made was to put 9,750 to Birmingham City University, right? So once I get into the university, it opened the door for me. That's called PSW, post-study work, for 2 years work permit. And then I moved into business visa, right? That was the second investment in your life. The third investment, if I consider, then I would say a few courses on Facebook advertisement, right? So when I built this company, I hadn't any clue how to do the acquisition of the customer. So I invested here and there for many courses, and I knew how to learn Facebook advertisement, and that helped me a lot to earn a lot of money, right? And the next one that recently I have got is $12,000 investment, and I had a bundle of courses from Tony Robbins, right? I think that's gonna help me to shape my next career. That's gonna help me to get the next level. So type in the chat box, what's the best investment in your life? Have you ever invested in yourself? So I'm asking you not to invest in myself, not to invest in hassle-free education, to invest in yourself, right? So what's the best investment in your life? Okay, now I'd like to read out some comments. So Abul Kalam said education on training. Sudan said I have not an investment history in my life. Okay. Russell said research in culture. Okay. Tanim said achieve GPA 5 in SSC exam. Okay, got it. Got it. Thanks for responding. Right. So, and why I'm saying a lot of things with you, because you got to understand. So can you please type in the chat box, investment plus, type in the chat box, investment plus. Okay, so type in the chat box, investment creates opportunity. Investment creates opportunity, and opportunity brings the results. Type in the chat box, please. You got to be very quick. Investment creates opportunity, and opportunity brings the result, right? So if you understand this very simple formula, and here investment, I don't mean that is all of money, right? Investment, it might be your money, it might be your time, it might be your blood and sweat, I mean your effort, right? So investment creates opportunity, and opportunity creates result. Type in the chat box very quickly. Investment creates opportunity, and opportunity brings the result, right? Okay, so, okay, got it. Thank you. Thanks for responding. This is very important lesson. If you don't understand, you'll struggle your whole life, right? So the second thing I'd like to mention, so investment means money, time, and effort. Please type in the chat box. Investment means money, time, and effort. So when I said effort, it means you sweat and blood and sweat, right? So investment means money, time, and effort. Okay, got it. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Right. So now my question is, how many of you have enjoyed the last class? Please type in the chat box me. I'd like to see how many of you really enjoyed the last class. Type in the chat box me. Okay, everyone, please participate, because you got to play full. Okay, so Umay Hafsa said I didn't attend. Okay, Umay, I think the class is recorded. Please watch this, that class. That's very important, right? So please type in the chat box me. I'd like to see how many of you enjoyed the last class. Okay, thank you. Thanks for responding. So in the last class, you got your map, right? You already have mapped out. So what sort of things you need to do, you have already known from the last class. All you got to do is you need to map out, and you need to take massive actions, and once you take the massive actions, you're gonna get the result. It's very simple. So now, after having the last class, who knows what you need to do? Please type in the chat box, I know what I need to do. After having the last class, who knows what you need to do? If you know what you need to do, please type in the chat box, after having the last class, I already know what I need to do. I'd like to see how many of you already know what you need to do. Yeah, type in the chat box, I know what I need to do. Okay, thank you. Thanks for responding. So you know what you need to do, right? Type in the chat box, I know what I need to do. Okay, so give me 5 steps, what do you need to do? Just in a word. For example, it might be IELTS, university application, got success, something like this. So give me 3 steps, not 5 steps, 3 steps. What do you need to do next? Type in the chat box. So after having the last class, you already know what you need to do. So give me 3 steps. What do you need to do? Very quickly type in the chat box, please. What do you need to do? Type in the chat box very quickly. What do you need to do? What are the 3 steps you need to follow to achieve what you want to achieve? Okay, so I have just said IELTS PhD to work in German molecular biology labs. Okay, excellent. Thanks for responding. So what's yours? Type in the chat box. What are the 3 things you got to do? Type in the chat box, because you know from the last class. Okay, so Jamshed said IELTS, passport, university admission. So I think the passport should be fast, right? So you got to have passport fast, then you can do the registration for IELTS exam, and then you can apply for university admission. Excellent, Jamshed. So Afia Babi said qualification, IELTS, money. Okay, excellent. Type in the chat box. What are the 3 steps you need to do to achieve what you want to achieve? Mehdi said passport, IELTS, apply university. Okay, excellent. Okay, Solon said need 6 to 6.5 IELTS score. Apply university. Got to manage the bank statement. Got to collect the passport. Contact with Hasself Education. Okay, excellent. Karim said IELTS, passport, apply university. Yeah, so you know what you need to do. Type in the chat box. Shubho said dream, passport, IELTS, visa, fly. Excellent, excellent. Imad said passport, IELTS, apply to university. Okay, excellent, excellent. Thank you. Okay, got it. Okay, excellent. Thanks for responding. You're awesome. Rafi said IELTS, money, apply to university. Okay, that's what I said. Learn, good school in IELTS, passport, and apply. Okay, excellent. Thank you. Yeah, that's what you need to do. So now I'm going to ask you a question. So how many of you are taking preparation for IELTS test is with someone else or with some sort of center? Type in the chat box IELTS preparation. If you have already taken some sort of preparation for IELTS, please type in the chat box IELTS preparation. I'd like to see how many of you have already decided or you have already taken some sort of support from any centers. And if you don't have anyone else yet, then please type in the chat box I haven't. Okay, so Tanim said need to well prepare for English test, for later. Okay, excellent. Okay, Kayum said IELTS preparation. That means you are taking preparation with someone else. Okay, excellent. Thank you. I haven't taken any preparation. Okay, I haven't. Okay. IELTS preparation from Future Aid. Okay, excellent. Thank you. Thanks for responding. Please type in chat box. Preparing since 13 January on my own. Okay, excellent. Thank you. Okay, so now give me the honest feedback. So just imagine you have committed yourself with a community, and probably 3 days in a week you have got IELTS class, and if you have got a teacher like Steve, right? So would you be able to achieve your score, whatever you want to achieve? Please type in chat box yes or no. If you think that you will get 60 classes or probably more than that, and you will have classes with Steve for speaking and listening. You will have class with another teacher who is studying at Teesside University in Petersburg in the United Kingdom, and who has got 8 in IELTS, right? And we have got another one who has got 8.5 in IELTS out of 9. So if you think that if you get help from these sort of resources like Steve, right, 8 band, 8.5 band, these sort of teachers, do you think would you be able to get your desired score? Please type in the chat box yes or no. Okay, very quickly type in the chat box yes or no. Yeah, that's right, of course. And can you remember the Warren Buffett's story? So he said his best investment was what? On the course of Dale Carnegie, how to speak better, right? How to do the public speaking. So once he managed to get all the skills in himself, and he became billionaire, right? And the second one, I gave my example as well. So I was learning English from here and there, but once I got Randy Peterson, native speaker and American speaker, so I got the confidence. And when I started speaking with someone else, they said, okay, your accent is a bit different. Why is that? Because I learned English from American, right? Native speaker. So I definitely recommend you to learn English from native speaker, because you know you're learning the pure English, because that's their mother tongue, right? So that's why I must recommend you, if you have got some sort of opportunity to learn English from native speaker, to talk with them, do so, right? So now you're gonna get 60 classes out of this IELTS preparation course with Hassle-Free Education, right? So please type in the chat box, how many classes will you get? How many classes will you get? All together, 60 classes. Basically, it's unlimited. If you think that, okay, I have got this and that reason, that's why I couldn't continue, can I jump into now? Yeah, we say yes, why not? Just start the class. So you're gonna have 60 classes, and you're gonna have speaking and listening module from Steve. So he will teach you how to speak and how to get a better score in listening as well. So that's the responsibility from Steve, right? And also you will get 2 more teachers. One has got 8 in IELTS, the other one has got 8.5. Can you please type in the chat box? So what are the scores from another teachers? Type in the chat box. 8. So 8 from Arifin, who has got 8 and who has got a scholarship, full funded scholarship from Teesside University, right? So that's the person you're gonna learn from. And another one is 8.5, and he's ex-British Council examiner, right? So you're gonna get these 3 teachers, amazing. And you're gonna get, that's why you have seen Arifa got 7, Nasir Sultana got 6.5. We have got so many students, they are getting this type of a score. So I would say, so you know your map right now. All you got to do is you need to commit yourself, and just you need to start, right? And this is the difference. So once you work with the professionals, so you haven't got any sort of opportunities to make mistakes, right? But if you do all the things alone, probably you might be struggling here and there. So that's why I must recommend you go with a professional who can help you, who can guide you, who can hold your hand to achieve whatever you want to achieve, right? So now, okay, someone said, Shubho said, don't you take classes? Okay, yeah, sometimes I take IELTS classes as well. Sometimes you will get me, because to be honest with you, I don't have that much time to take the classes, because personally, I define myself, first of all, if you say by profession, I'm a businessman, and by heart, I'm a teacher. So that's why I enjoy to take the class. And that's why it's 8 o'clock in the morning in the UK. So I always take the class, then I jump into my task. So yeah, I'll take some classes, but not regularly. So now, how many of you have given the homework? Please type in the chat box homework. I'd like to see. How many of you have submitted the homework? If you submitted your homework, please type in the chat box submitted. I'd like to see how many. How many of you have submitted the homework? Okay. So Mehdi said submitted. Sumaya said submitted. Okay. Tanim said submitted. Okay. I must recommend you to submit your homework, right? So all you got to do is you need to practice a lot. Then you need to take your phone and just you need to press the button, record or go live. And you need to say which university you would like to study. And this is some sort of agreement you got to do with yourself, right? You need to write a letter to yourself in 5 years' time, which position you'd like to see yourself. Please type in the chat box what I just said. So after finishing today's class, you're going to write a letter to yourself that after 5 years' time, where you'd like to see yourself, right? So please type in the chat box, I'll write a letter to myself in 5 years' time, where I'd like to see myself. Please type in the chat box. Because the most important thing is imagination. It's very powerful. It's a very expensive skill. So I always learn from my business mentors, because what I believe is if I try to figure it out, it's going to take a lot of time and probably I'm going to burn out myself. So I always go to the business mentors who has got multi-million pound business, even billion-pound business. I ask them, okay, I would like to do this sort of things. What should I do? And they give me mentoring. I just follow the footsteps. And this is how I achieved so much. So definitely, I would tell you to find the professionals like Hasself Education who can help you with X, Y, and Z. For example, your IELTS, your university application, choosing right university and right course, and making your visa application. So you are in a safe hand, and definitely you will get your visa once you have submitted all your things, right? So please type in the chat box, I'll write a letter to myself that where I can see myself after 5 years later. Okay, that's fine. Thank you, Tanim. I'd like to see everyone else comment. Please type in the chat box. If you don't write yourself a letter in 5 years' time, you don't know where you're going, right? So probably that's why. That's the very important thing. So you got to write a letter to yourself where you'd like to see in 5 years' time. I have written already. I have written, basically, I write a letter to myself every year. And in 5 years' time and 10 years' time, where I would like to see myself. So you got to do the same thing. So in your letter, if you think that, okay, you got settlement in Canada, at the end of the 5 years, you will get it because you have got a plan and you have got a lot of efforts to achieve that, and you're going to do that and you're going to achieve that. But if you don't write a letter to yourself, you'll be staying where you are right now. So how many of you would like to stay exactly there where you are right now? Type in the chat box, yes or no. Would you like to stay the same place where you are right now, or after 5 years' time, you'd like to change your life? I mean, in a whole shade, and you'd like to achieve another level. Type in the chat box. Would you like to stay in the same place where you are right now, or would you like to change your position? Would like to see yourself somewhere or something, right? Type in the chat box. Okay, so today, okay, I'm gonna share it to my screen. So today, I'd like to see how many of you really have done the homework. Okay, so this is the okay, so this is the page. Okay, so Tanim. Okay, I'm not sure why it's homework. Okay, homework task up here will be excellent. Thank you. Mehdi, thank you. So, and Ibrahim, thank you. So 3 people. Okay, now Rukul Mida, thank you. Anybody else? So, okay. And then Hassan, thank you. Thanks a lot for submitting your homework. Right, so only I think 4 and 5 people. Now my question is, I have got some sort of what is called statics for you, and I have shared in the last classes, right? So is 80 95 and 5. Can you please type in the chat box? I'd like to remind you so that you understand the whole thing and you can achieve whatever you want to achieve. So please type in the chat box 80, 95, 5. So 80 is to 95 is to 5, right? Okay, so this is the figure, right? So in the business, 80% business owners, they fail in the first year, and 95% business owners, they fail in 5 years' time, and 5% they survive and thrive, right? So this is the scenario. 80% business owners, they fail in the first year, 95% business owners, they fail in 5 years' time, and only the 5%, they survive and thrive. So they are the top business owners, right? And this is the thing happening in everywhere else, because this ratio works for everywhere, I think. So what I see is, so 80% students, they leave the 7 days speaking challenge after probably 1 or 2 days. And 95% students, they give up in 3-4 days, or they don't do the homework, right? And 5%, only 5%, they just survive and thrive. So can you please type in the chat box? So who is group you are in? Are you in 80% or 95% or 5%? Type in the chat box. I'd like to see. I'd like to see whose group are you in? Is 80%, 95%, or 5%? So I'd like to see. Okay, so Rukul Murda said 5. Okay, Tanim said 5%. Okay, Lizan said 80%. Okay, Lizan, so you got to think a lot. What's your why? Excuse me. So Rukul Murda said 5%. Russell Ahmed said, I'm not sure what you mean by 0%. Shahanaz Praveen said 90%. Okay. So there is no ratio of 90%. It is 80, 95, or 5, right? So now all you got to do is, you got to figure out yourself which group are you in. And I'm not making fun. This is the real scenario. So if you are not in 5%, so that means you have got some sort of problems to map out your journey, where you're going to start and where you're going to finish. And you don't know what's your why you'd like to achieve that. So if you know exactly the why, it's going to help a lot to achieve your destination, right? So sometimes, even when I run my business, I faced a lot of difficulties and I was thinking, well, I'm going to give up. But I know my why I'd like to achieve that. So once I achieve that, what I'm going to do. So as I know my why, there is no way to give up, right? So that's why I keep going, and keep going. That exactly the same thing you got to do is you got to keep going, and you got to know your why. So today we'd like to share a lot of things about how to describe the past events without making any mistakes. Please type in the chat box how to describe past events without making any mistakes. Type in the chat box. This is our lesson we're gonna jump into in a minute. Type in the chat box how to describe past events without making any mistakes. Type in the chat box very quickly how to describe past events without making any mistakes. So this is very important lesson for IELTS test taker, because when you go for interview, especially speaking test, so they will ask you a few questions from here and there. Probably the first question they'll ask you using the present tense, and they'll ask you the past. Again, they'll ask you present. Again, they'll ask you past. So what they do, they try to push you in a trap so that you can make a lot of mistakes and you violate the rules and regulation of the grammar. So today we're going to solve that problem. After having today's class, you'll feel some sort of free inside that, okay, I don't have to think a lot about the past form, and it's still I can make a lot of sentences using the correct tense, right? So are you ready? How many of you are really ready to jump into today's lesson? Please type in the chat box ready. I'd like to see how many of you are really ready to jump into this session, right? So before jumping there, I'd like to bring the energy into the room. So please stand up, right? So please stand up, and we're gonna run for a minute or so, then we're gonna jump into the lesson. So please stand up, and are you ready? You know how to run, right? Okay, so I'm gonna play a soft music so that you can run with me. Okay, ready? So 3, 2, 1, go. Let's start running. Run. Right. Yeah. Faster. Thank you, baby. Thanks a lot. Okay, thank you. So grab your pen and paper, please. And if you have got water, take a sip of water. Stay hydrated. Okay. So grab your pen and paper, please. Grab your pen and paper. So excellent. Thank you. So can you please type in the chat box? Can you remember what are the subjects we had previously? Type in the chat box or write on pen and paper. So subject, and under the subject, please write down all the subjects. I'd like to see how many of you still can remember. So yeah, write down subject, and under subjects, please write down all the subjects. And once you have written on the paper, you can write down on the chat box as well. So thank you, Mehdi. Okay, got it. Thank you. So yeah, these are the subjects, right? I, we, you, they, he, she, it, Tony. Right. So today, we'd like to practice a lot the past form. So now I'm gonna ask you a very simple question. I know you know it, but there would be some sort of students probably they're very weak in English, and that's why we're gonna start from the very scratch, right? So what's the past form of go? Please type in the chat box. What's the past form of go? Very quickly. So yeah, everybody said went. Okay, so to understand it, so usually we're gonna say is verb 2. So for example, verb 1 is go, verb 2 is went, right? Okay, so what's the next one? What's the past form of write? Type in the chat box. What's the past form of write? Okay. Yeah, excellent. Thanks for responding. So Rukul Mother said wrote, Rasul Ahmed said wrote, Tanim said wrote, Zahid said wrote. Okay, thank you. Thanks for responding. So next one is, what's the past form of understand? What's the past form of understand? Type in the chat box. What's the past form of understand? Okay, excellent. Thank you. Thanks for responding. So today, the structure we're gonna follow is called subject plus verb 2. Please type in chat box. Subject plus verb 2. আজকে আমরা যে স্ট্রাকচার শিখবো সেটা হলো subject plus verb 2. Verb 2 মানে হলো past form, right? So verb 2 means past form. So you got to just make sure verb 2 means past form. So subject plus verb 2. Okay, excellent. So now what I'm gonna do to make it simple. So to make it simple, just I'm gonna pull up my slide. All right, so got it. Sharing my screen in a minute. Okay, so I'd like to take you in a class where we can practice. The structure is subject plus verb to. Okay, so here you go. Can you please type in the chat box what you can see here? Winners never quit, quitters never win. Please type in the chat box. Winner never quits, quitters never win. Please type in the chat box. Winners never win, winners never quit, quitters never win. Please type in the chat box very quickly. Winners never quit and quitters never win. Right. Here you go. Here you go. So we got it. So today we're gonna practice this. So we're gonna start from here. So I practiced, we practiced, you practiced, you practiced, they practiced, he practiced, she practiced, it practiced, Tony practiced. So what I'm gonna do, I will unmute yourself and to give me all the sentences. So are you ready? If you're ready, please type in the chat box ready. I'd like to see how many of you are really excited to practice with me. Type in the chat box ready. R-E-A-D-Y. Okay. Okay. Thanks for responding. Thanks for responding. So please unmute yourself. Unmute yourself. 3, 2, 1, go. Let's start.
I practice. We practice.
They practice.
I practice.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. So now if I change the verb, so please type in the chat box. What's the past form of understand? Please type in the chat box. What's the past form of understand? Right? Please type in the chat box. What's the past form of understand? Understood, right? So we're gonna practice with understood. So this time our challenge is we're gonna make all the sentences using only one breath, right? So please unmute yourself. 3, 2, 1, go. Let's start.
I understood. You understood. You understood. They understood. You understood. You understood.
He understood. Tony understood. They understood. She understood.
And Tony understood. So just I'd like to make sure that when you are using the past form, subject plus verb to, you don't have to think about a sound, right? So can you remember in the structure 1, it was he understands, she understands, it understands, Tony understands. So here you don't have to think about this. It's all the time we're gonna use understood, understood, and understood, just to make sure. Okay, so sometimes we get a few students, their basic is very weak, right? So that's why I'd like to make sure them that যখন আপনি past use করবেন তখন s বা es এর কথা চিন্তা করতে হবে না. Just you need to say he understood, she understood, it understood, Tony understood. Okay, now I'm gonna change the verb again. So can you please type in the chat box, what's the past form of learn? What's the past form of learn? Type in the chat box, please. What's the past form of learn? Very quickly. Okay, so both are right. ED and T, both are right. So L-E-A-R-N-E-D. L-E-A-R-N-E. Okay, so now we're gonna practice with learn. So please unmute yourself. 3, 2, 1, go. Let's start.
I learned. We learned. You learned. I learned.
So now what are you gonna do? So in English language there are 2 types of verb. How many types of verb? Please type in the chat box. 2 types of verb. Please type in the chat box. 2 types of verb. Right? So my question is, how many types of verbs in English language? Only 2. Right? So all you got to do is you need to memorize a lot of irregular verbs. It's called regular verb and irregular verb. Please type in the chat box. Regular and irregular verbs. Regulars and irregulars verb. Regulars, regular and irregular verb, right? So the regular verb is this. So adding d and ed, we can make from verb 1 to verb 2. So there is a rule for regular verb. Just adding d or ed, we can make regular and irregular verbs, right? শুধুমাত্র d এবং ed যোগ করে আমরা regular verb কে verb 1 কে verb 2 করতে পারি, right? So adding only d and ed, we can make verb 1 to verb 2, right? For the irregular verbs, there is no fast and rule. You got to memorize. You need to practice a lot. You need to use them in a lot of places. This is how you can memorize. So রেগুলার ভার্বের ব্যাপারে খুবই সহজ, আমরা জানি এটা শুধুমাত্র ডি এবং ইডি যোগ করে ভার্ব টু করা যায়, বাট ইরেগুলার ভার্বের ক্ষেত্রে এটা করা যায় না। ফর এক্সাম্পল want, so can you please type in the chat box, what's the past form of want? What's the past form of want? Type in the chat box very quickly. Yeah, that's right, wanted, wanted, and we're gonna pronounce like this way, আমরা এটা pronunciation এইভাবে করব, wanted, right? Accepted, learn. Okay, next one is, if I ask you, what's the past form of go? What's the past form of go? Type in the chat box. Went. So, go past form went, এর জন্য কোনো নিয়ম নাই. We got to memorize it, right? এটা memorize করতে হবে. So, regular verb, আমরা d এবং ed যোগ করে regular verb কে verb 1 থেকে verb 2 করতে পারি. But irregular verb এর কোনো নিয়ম নাই. That's how we got to memorize. So, all we can do is, when you get time, you can type on Google that the list of irregular verbs, print them out, put them onto your wall, right? So when your eyes go, you are memorizing some sort of words. You can play with it, right? So all you got to do is, once you finish your class, then you can go to Google, and if you type a list of regular verbs or a list of irregular verbs, you'll get all of them, and you got to just practice. Okay, so now next thing I'd like to share with you is, okay, these are the examples of irregular verbs. So go, went, write, wrote, see, saw, speak, spoke, right? This is the thing. So now the first question I'm going to ask you is, what did you do yesterday? Can you remember? If you remember, please type in the chat box. What did you do yesterday? Can you remember? If you can remember, please type in the chat box, yes, I can. I'd like to see. I'd like to see. If you can remember, then you say, yes, I can. Okay, so the question is, what did you do yesterday? I know we practice a lot, what do you do every day, right? But if I ask you, what did you do yesterday? So what's the structure you got to use? Type in the chat box. Past form এর জন্য কি structure use করতে হবে? Please type in the chat box. What's the structure we got to use for past form? Subject plus verb 2. Okay, excellent. Excellent. Subject plus verb 2. Subject plus verb 2. Okay. Yeah, that's the structure you got to follow. Subject plus verb 2. Can you please write down, what does the verb 2 mean? Verb 2 means past form. Please type in the chat box. Verb 2 means past form. Verb 2 means past form. Please type in the chat box. Verb 2 means past form. Okay. So now give me 3 verbs, that sort of actions you take in the morning, right? So what would be the past form of those 3 verbs? Please type in the chat box 3 verbs in past form. What did you do yesterday? Type in the chat box. Please type in the chat box. Give me 3 verbs using the past form. Okay, Mehdi, thank you. So say went, woke, wrote. Okay, I went for exercise yesterday morning. Okay, give me 3 verbs only, not the full sentence. 3 verbs, right? So Jamshid said got up, went, made. Okay, excellent. Mizan said walked, wanted, went. Okay, woke, learned, hired. Okay, excellent. Ate, walked, went. Okay, yeah, that's right. Verb 2 means past form. Okay, so now give me 3 verbs using past form. What did you do in the afternoon? So আমাকে 3টা verb দেন, afternoon আপনি যে কাজগুলো করেছিলেন. Type in the chat box, please. 3 verbs using the past form. What did you do in the afternoon? Okay, so in the afternoon, not in the morning, in the afternoon. So after 12 o'clock, what sort of things you perform? Please, okay. Shubha said, I slept, I sang, I wrote. Okay. Rukul Meda said, got up, went, and taken. Okay. It has to be took, right? Rukul Meda, took. Took lunch, played cricket, returned home. Excellent. Excellent. Kayum said, took. Okay. Thank you. Took, walked, ate. Okay. Excellent. Excellent. Wrote, went, took lunch. Okay. Excellent. Thank you. Thanks for responding. And now I'd like to ask you, so what sort of activities you did in the evening after 5 o'clock? So give me 3 verbs using past form. So evening apni ki korechilen? Give me the 3 verbs using the past form. What are the 3 verbs, 3 activities you did in the last evening? What are the 3 activities you did in the last evening? Please type in the chat box very quickly. Okay, using the past form. So Abdullah, it has to be ate, not eating. Shubha said cooked, danced, walked. Okay. Read, went outside, hang out with friends. Okay. Got together, cooked, ate. Okay. Drank, took, read. Okay. Excellent. Excellent. Thank you. Thanks for responding. Thank you. Okay. Now, what are you going to do? We're going to practice. What did you do yesterday? What did you do yesterday? We're going to practice. So these are the vocabularies you're going to use, right? So this is how we're going to give a presentation. Hi everyone, my name is Habib. Today I'd like to share with you what I did yesterday. I got up early in the morning at 7 o'clock. Then I brushed my teeth and made breakfast, then had a cup of tea. And then I got ready to my office. And I drove down to my office around 9 o'clock. Then I started working. So after, I think, 12:30, I had lunch and I took rest for some time. Then I started working again. I left office exactly at 5 o'clock. Then I went to coffee shop and had a cup of coffee. Then I took a bus, or I drove down again to home. I returned home, I refreshed myself, and I watched television for some time. And then I attended a 7 days speaking challenge. I finished my homework as well. And in the evening, I got together with my family, took some snacks, and helped to cook my wife. And then we took dinner. Then I read a book for some time, and I chatted with my families. Then I took a look on my tomorrow's plan, and I got ready to sleep, and I went to bed and I slept, right? So this is how I need to give me 30 sentences, right? How many sentences? Please type in the chat box. How many? How many sentences? Please type in the chat box very quickly. How many? 30 sentences you got to give me, right? So now, the first time, what do you need to do? You need to study speaking, right? I'm not unmuting yourself. The second time, I'm going to unmute yourself, and I'd like to hear from you. What did you do yesterday, right? So are you ready? If you're ready, please type in the chat box ready. Type in the chat box ready. Okay, excellent. Thank you. Thanks for responding. So we're going to start together, and we'll make sure we are delivering 30 sentences, not 29, not 28, not 27, exactly 30 sentences. Are you ready? Okay, I know you are ready. So we're going to start, right? I'm not unmuting yourself this time. So you hear yourself, right? You listen to yourself if you can make the sentence or not. So 3, 2, 1, go. Let's start. Hi everyone, my name is Habib, and today I'd like to share with you what I did yesterday. I got up early in the morning at 7 o'clock. Then I brushed my teeth. I went to bathroom, and I took shower. Then I made my breakfast. Then had a cup of coffee. Then I got ready to go to office, and I drove down to the office around 9 o'clock. Then I started working. After 12:30, I took my lunch, and then I took rest for some time, and I started working again. And I left office at 5 o'clock. Then I went to Tiesto again to get a cup of tea to refresh myself. And then I got into the car. I drove down to home. And then once I returned home, I refreshed myself, and I watched television for some time, and I attended 7 days speaking challenge. So, and then immediately I finished my homework. And in the evening, I got together with my family. I took some snacks with them and drink. and then I helped to cook my wife. Then I took dinner. I read a book for 30 minutes. Then I chatted with my family members. Then I took a look on tomorrow's plan and I got ready to sleep and I went to bed and I slept, right? So you got to say 30 sentences. Keep going, don't stop. Keep going, okay? Keep going. So now, please type in the chat box. How many sentences have you made? Type in the chat box. How many sentences have you made? Okay, Sumaya said 30 plus. Nizan said 25. No, you got to make 30 plus, right? At least 30. Zaman said 30. Okay, anybody else? Type in the chat box. Type in the chat box. Type in the chat box. Okay, got it. Thank you. Now, this time, what I'm going to do, I'll unmute yourself and you need to give a presentation, right? So please unmute yourself. 3, 2, 1, go.
Stop, then brush teeth, then celebrate 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock got ready for office. 9 o'clock took first arrived at office. 7 o'clock started working and 9:30 o'clock had lunch and then took shift on 30 p.m. shift. Federal administration which went to tea stall 3 o'clock. Cup of 3 o'clock. Took a bus and returned. 5 o'clock refresh myself. 7 p.m. Attending 7 minutes class.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. So, can you please type in the chat box? How many sentences you just made? Type in the chat box, please. How many sentences you just made? Type in the chat box. Okay, so I think in last classes I have shared with you, if you have got some sort of problem with fluency, this is your medicine. You got to take medicine, right? So if you've got some sort of fluency, all you got to do is you need to, if you go to the doctor and they do some sort of prescription, like in the morning, you got to take it, after lunch, you got to take it, and before going to sleep, you got to take it. I would say take it as a medicine. If you're really struggling with your fluency, all you got to do is you need to practice these 4 questions. Number 1, what do you do every day? Number 2, what does your favorite person do every day? Number 3, what did you do yesterday? And number 4, what will you do tomorrow? So how many questions you need to practice? Please type in the chat box. Only 4 questions. If you'd like to get your fluency, you need to practice only 4 questions in the morning, in the afternoon, and in the evening. And if you do so for 30 days, you will feel that, okay, you don't have any sort of problem regarding the fluency. You overcome already, right? So how many of you would like to practice 3 times in a day? Please type in the chat box. 3 times in a day. So if you'd like to increase your fluency, all you got to do is you need to practice these 4 questions 3 times in a day. So first question is, what do you do every day? Second question is, what does your favorite person do every day? Because if you don't practice the second one, then you will make a lot of mistakes when you are using the third person singular number. And the next is, what did you do yesterday? And the last one is, what will you do tomorrow? So you got to practice it 3 times in a day for 30 days. Please type in the chat box. 3 times in a day for 30 days. So this is the prescription I'm giving you. Just take it, implement it, and achieve whatever you want to achieve. So 3 times in a day for 30 days. For 30 days. Don't miss even a single day. Okay, now type in the chat box, please. 3 times in a day for 30 days. I'd like to see everyone else comment. 3 times in a day for 30 days. Okay, got it. So now, so I'd like to remind you the structure of English sentences. So the first structure was, can you please type in the chat box? First structure was subject plus verb. Please type in the chat box. Subject plus verb. That was the first structure, right? Subject plus verb. I'd like to see everyone else comment. Subject plus verb. Subject plus verb. Okay, excellent. Thank you. So second structure was how to ask a question, right? So do plus subject plus verb plus question mark. Please type in the chat box. Do plus subject plus verb plus question mark. Do plus subject plus verb plus question mark. Can you remember? So do I speak? Do you speak? Do you speak? Do you speak? Does he speak? Does she speak? Does it speak? Does Tune speak? Right? Do plus subject. Do plus subject plus verb plus question mark. Do plus subject plus verb plus question mark. That's the second structure, right? And the third structure we have learned is WH plus do plus subject plus verb plus question mark. Please type in the chat box. Third structure was WH plus do plus subject plus verb plus question mark. So you got to understand it. You got to practice it. Otherwise, you'll make a lot of mistakes. And if you don't follow this structure, your sentence is wrong, 100%, right? So that's why you got to practice this. And I know for few days, I mean, from the very beginning, it's gonna be really difficult to follow this structure. But after it, you know the structure. If you know the structure and if you practice a lot, you will get it, right? So yeah, that was the third structure: WH plus do plus subject plus verb. Now, the fourth structure we have got is subject plus verb to. Please type in the chat box. Subject plus verb to. Fourth structure, we got subject plus verb to. Subject plus verb to, right? So we know the fifth structure, right? Now we're gonna go for sixth one. Sixth one is, okay, can you please type in the chat box? What's the past form of do? What's the past form of do? Type in the chat box. What's the past form of do? Did. Excellent. Thank you. So the structure would be did plus subject plus verb one plus question mark. Did plus subject plus verb one plus question mark. So that's the sixth structure, right? Did plus subject plus verb one plus question mark. Did plus subject plus verb one plus question mark. So sixth structure hobe did plus subject plus verb one plus question mark, right? So now I'm gonna give you a minute to transfer this into your notebook or whatever written materials. So Druto, I'm gonna give you 30 seconds. Please write them all of them down on your notebook, right? আপনার খাতায় একটু দ্রুত লিখে নেন, what are the 6 structures? So number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6. Please write it down. I'm going to give you 30 seconds to write them down. Very quickly write them down. What are the 6 structures we practiced, right? So once you have written all them in the notebook, so please type in the chat box done. I'm going to give you 30 seconds to write all of them down. So sixth structure is did plus subject plus verb one question mark. Did plus subject plus verb one plus question mark. So what was the fifth structure? Is subject plus verb two. Very easy. Subject plus verb two. Okay, so I repeat. Verb one is subject plus verb. Subject plus verb one. That's the first structure. Second structure is question mark, right? So do plus subject plus verb one plus question mark. Do plus subject plus verb plus question mark. That's the second structure. Third one was the deep question, how to ask deep question. So WH plus do plus subject plus verb one plus question mark. Right? That was the third one. Fourth one, subject plus verb two. Subject plus verb two. Okay, fifth one is again question. So did plus subject plus verb one question mark. Did plus subject plus verb one plus question mark, right? Okay, got it. Thank you. So now Now we're gonna follow 3, 4, 5th structure right now. So the structure would be did plus subject plus verb 1 plus question mark. Please type in the chat box again. Did plus subject plus verb 1 plus question mark. Did plus subject plus verb 1 plus question mark. Did plus subject plus verb 1 plus question mark. Type in the chat box, please. Okay, so this is the structure we're gonna follow, right? This is the structure we're gonna follow, right? So this is the structure we're gonna follow: did plus subject plus verb 1 plus question mark. So if I make a lot of sentence, so I'm gonna ask like this: did I speak? Did you speak? Did you speak? Did they speak? Did he speak? Did she speak? Did he speak? Did Tony speak? Right? So all you got to do is you need to give me all the sentences. So I'm gonna unmute yourself. Please unmute yourself. 3, 2, 1, go. Let's start.
Did I speak?
Did I speak? Did you speak? Did you speak? Did they speak? She speak? Did she speak? Did she speak? Did and
Thank you. So you got to have a lot of energy, right? And this time you're gonna give me all the sentences using one breath. Are you ready? If you're ready, please type in the chat box READY. I'd like to see how many of you are really ready to practice with me. All you got to do is you need to give me all the sentences in one breath, right? So again, I'm gonna unmute yourself. Please unmute yourself. 3, 2, 1, go. Let's start.
did I speak? Did we speak? Did you speak? Did they speak? Did they speak? Did it speak? Did
Thank you. Thanks a lot. So now I need a volunteer. So Laizan Ahmed, can you please unmute yourself and give me all the sentences?
Did I speak? Did you speak? Did we speak? Did you speak? Did they speak? Did it and did she speaks? Did he speaks? Did it speaks?
Okay, Laizan. Thank you. Thank you. Can you please type in the chat box? Thanks, Laizan. So Laizan, যখন past tense করবেন তখন আর s es আসবে না এই জায়গায়, right? So when you are using the past form and when you are using this structure, you don't need to have s or es. So did he speak? Did she speak? Did it speak? Did Tony speak? Right? So I need another volunteer. Let's see who is there. So Tahmid, can you please unmute yourself and give me all the sentences?
Did I speak? Did we speak? Did you speak? Did you speak? Did they speak? Did he speak? Did she speak? Did it speak? Did Tony speak?
Excellent, excellent. Can you please type in the chat box? Thanks, Tahmid. Right. So now I repeat, all you got to do is you need to just follow this structure. If you don't follow, you are making mistakes. Your sentence is wrong. It's very simple, right? So the more you're gonna practice, the more fluent you become. So please unmute yourself. 3, 2, 1, go. Let's start.
did I speak? Did we speak? Did we speak? Did you speak? Did you speak? Did
Thanks a lot. So now I need another volunteer. So Shubho, can you please unmute yourself and give me all the sentences? Okay, sorry Shubho, the line is so bad. Okay. Joel Mia, can you please unmute yourself and give me all the sentences?
Did I speak? Did we speak? Did you speak? Did you speak? Did they speak? Did he speak? Did she speak? Did it speak? Did Tony speak?
Thank you. Thank you. Excellent. Excellent. Can you please type in the chat box? Thanks, Joel Mia. Thank you. So now what are you gonna do? So this is the another structure. So if you'd like to ask deep question, just you need to add WS word, right? So can you please type in the chat box WS plus did plus subject plus verb 1 plus question mark. Type in the chat box. WS plus did plus subject plus verb 1 plus question mark. Type in the chat box very quickly. So we are going for the 6th structure. Structure number 6. WS plus did plus subject plus verb 1 plus question mark. Okay, excellent. Thank you. Thank you. So we're gonna practice the next structure. So the structure is this. This is how I need to practice. So why did I practice? So I'm gonna start with why, So if you followed the third structure, it's going to be easier for you. If you're the new one, it's going to take a little bit of time to understand it. However, you will get it, right? So we're going to start with the why, and I would say you need to practice with me, right? So how we're going to start? So why did I practice? So why did I practice? Just I'm maintaining the sequence. Why did I practice? Why did you practice? Why did you practice? Why did you practice? Why did they practice? Why did he practice? Why did she practice? Why did it practice? Why did Tony practice? So this is how we need to make sentences, right? So why did I practice? Why did you practice? Why did you practice? Why did you practice? Why did they practice? Why did he practice? Why did she practice? Why did he practice? Why did Tony practice? So now I'm gonna unmute yourself and you need to practice with me using why. Why? So please unmute yourself. 3, 2, 1, go. Let's start.
Why did I
Did you? Why did?
why did you practice? Why did you practice? They practice? Did she practice? Did he practice?
Thank you. Can you please type in the chat box? How many breaths have you taken? I'd like to see. How many breaths have you taken? Please type in the chat box. How many breaths have you taken? Okay, 1. Excellent. So if you're taking more than 1 breath, you got to practice a lot, right? You haven't done your practice yet. So one more time, we're going to practice with why. One more time. And this time our challenge is we're going to make all the sentences using just 1 breath, right? So please unmute yourself. 3, 2, 1, go. Let's start.
Why did they practice? Why did they
They practice?
Why did
They practice? It practice? Why did Tony practice?
Okay. Thank you. Thanks a lot. So now I need a volunteer. I need a volunteer, right? So I need a volunteer. So Jaman, can you please unmute yourself and give me all the sentences? Jaman, can you hear us? Okay. Jahid Ahmed, can you please unmute yourself?
Why did I practice? Or why did you practice? Or why did they you practice? They practice. She did practice. Why why it did practice? Tony. Why did Tony practice?
Okay. It is your first class.
Yes.
Okay, that's right. That's fine. Absolutely fine, right? So if you don't understand and if you don't get all of them, I would recommend you to come to the next batch as well, right? So every month we offer a batch, and next one would be 10 days speaking challenge, right? And can you remember what is the mother of all skills? Please type in the chat box. I'd like to see if you can still remember. What is the mother of all skills? Type in the chat box, please. What is the mother of all skills? That's right, Shanas Praveen. Repetition, right? So repetition is the mother of all skills. Please type in the chat box. I'd like to see how many of you really remember what's the mother of all skills. Repetition, right? So if you don't get it, go for the next one. 10 days speaking challenge. Go for the next one. 15 days speaking challenge. Go for the next one. 8 days speaking challenge. So all you got to do is you got to repeat and repeat. So repetition is the mother of all skills. So gentlemen, I would like to request you, this is not your fault, this is your first class, that's why you are struggling. So we're going to start with this. Why did I practice? Why did we practice? Why did you practice? Why did you practice? Why did they practice? Why did he practice? Why did she practice? Why did it practice? Why did Tony practice? Right, I know this is happening. So that's why it's very important to join all the classes and follow the structure, right? I need another volunteer, right? So Rukul Mirda, can you please unmute yourself and give me all the sentences?
Yes, thank you. Why did I practice? Why did we practice? Why did you practice? Why did you practice? Why did they practice? Why did he practice? Why did she practice? Why did he practice? Why did Tony practice?
Excellent, excellent. Can you please type in the chat box? Thanks, Mirda. Okay, now I need another volunteer. Mukta, can you please unmute yourself, Mukta, and give me all the sentences? Mukta, can you hear us?
Assalamu alaikum.
What's up?
Why did I speak? Why did you speak? Why did they speak? Why did she speak? Why did he speak? Why did it speak? Why did Tony speak?
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. Please type in the chat box. Thanks, Mukta. Okay. So now we're gonna practice with when. We're gonna practice with when. When. So when did is the same thing, right? So you have practiced in the probably 3rd or 4th class. So when did I practice? When did you practice? When did you practice? When did they practice? When did he practice? When did she practice? When did it practice? When did Tony practice? So please unmute yourself. 3, 2, 1, go. Let's start. When?
When did I practice? When did you practice? When did we practice? When did we practice? When did you practice? When did when did she practice?
Thank you. Thank you. So now next one, we're gonna start with where. Where? Where? We're gonna practice with where, right? So can you please pronounce it where? Where? So please unmute yourself. 3, 2, 1, go.
Did I practice? We practice. Where did you practice? You practice. Where did they practice? Where did she practice? Where did practice? Where did
Thank you. Thank you. Right. So we're gonna practice all together. Once I say go, you need to start, and we're gonna finish together, right? So we're gonna maintain the discipline. We're gonna maintain the discipline. So next one is how. How. So this time we're gonna start together. Are you ready? So please unmute yourself. 3, 2, 1, go.
How did I practice? How did we practice? How did we practice? How did they practice? How did she practice? How did she practice? How did
Thank you. Thanks a lot. So next one is which language. So after which we always put a noun, right? Which এর পরে সবসময় একটা noun বসাই. So which language did I practice? Which language did you practice? Which language did you practice? Which language did they practice? Which language did she practice? Which language did she practice? Which language did he practice? Did he practice? Which language did Tony practice? So please unmute yourself and give me all the sentences using which language. Please unmute yourself. 3, 2, 1, go.
Which language did I practice? Which language did you practice? Which language did you practice? Did they practice? Which language he practiced? Which language did she practice? Which language did they?
Thank you. Thank you. So now I'd like to get your feedback. So how many breaths do you need to finish all the sentences? How many breaths? Type in the chat box. So if I give you a WS question, WS word, for example, why? So how many breaths do you need? Okay. So Tahmid, if you need to, still you need to practice a lot, right? So once you can make all the sentences using just one breath, that means your practice is done. Okay. Now I'm going to ask you a few questions, and I'd like to see if you really understand this structure. The first question is, did you attend the last class? So for the sake of practicing, say yes. Type in the chat box. What should be your answer? Did you practice? Did you attend the last class? Please type in the chat box. What should be your answer? Did you attend the last class? So answer should be yes, I did, right? Not do, because do is the present form. So I asked the question using did. Did you attend the last class? Did, right? So this is one more thing you need to understand. So once you started conversation with someone else, you got to listen very carefully. So the person is using did or do. If the person is asking question using did, you need to answer in past form. If the person is asking question using do or does, you need to answer in present form, right? So quickly, যদি কেউ did দিয়ে কোশ্চেন করে, আমরা আনসার করব কোন ফর্মে? প্লিজ টাইপ ইন দ্য চ্যাট বক্স. If someone asks you a question using did, so which tense or which form we're going to use? Please type in the chat box. Present or past? Type in the chat box. Verb to, right? Past form. So if someone asks you a question using did, you got to answer using past form. So I ask you a question, did you attend the last class? So what should be your answer? Type it again. Did you attend the last class? Please type in the chat. Yes, I did. That should be answer. Yes, I did. Okay. Okay. Excellent. 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 So now the next question I'm going to ask you. Next question I'm going to ask you. When did you attend the last class? Type in the chat box. When? When did? So answer should be in past form. When did you attend the last class? When did you attend the last class? Give me the whole sentence, right? Don't play shortcut. When did you attend the last class? Excellent, Shugo. I attended last class at 2 p.m. Right? So I attended the last class at 2 p.m. Give me the answer. Whole sentence. I attended the last class at 2 p.m. Okay? Okay. Excellent. Excellent. Thank you. So I'd like to see everyone's answer. Okay. Afia Bobby, I do understand, but for the sake of practicing, say yes, right? So practices sharte, yes bole. Otherwise, I can't ask you more questions, right? So next question I'm going to ask you, how did you attend the last class? How? How did you attend the last class? How did, right? So past form. How did you attend the last class? Please type in the chat box. How did you attend the last class? How did you attend the last class? How did you attend the last class? Type in the chat box, please. Okay, Shubha said I attended the last class using a link. Okay, excellent. I attended the last class using Zoom meeting. Okay, excellent. Thank you. I attended the last class using my mobile phone. Thank you. Thanks for answering. Yeah, that should be the answer. So answer should be past form. I attended, right? I attended the last class through Zoom. Excellent. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. So, okay. So what did you learn? Type in the chat box. What? What did you learn in the last class? Type in the chat box. What did you learn in the last class? What did you learn in the last class? Type in the chat box. Okay, so if you ask me the same question, I would say, I learned how to get the visa. It might be UK, it might be Canada, it might be USA. I learned how to get UK study visa. I learned how to get Canadian study visa. I learned how to get US study visa, right? I learned about the visa process. Excellent answer. Okay. So what did you learn in the last class? What did you learn in the last class? What did you learn in the last class? Excellent. Excellent. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Okay. Okay. Got it. So I believe that you understood the whole thing and it's completely clear to you, and you can use them time and again in your life and you will not make any mistakes, right? So if you understood the whole thing, please type in the chat box understood. I'd like to see how many of you really understood the whole structure. Understood. Okay. So as you said, repetition is the mother of all skills, right? I would recommend you, the class is recorded, so please watch it time and again. Watch the same video 10 times, right? And probably you didn't understand a simple thing right now, or probably you haven't got enough practice, so you can go through the lesson and you can practice a lot. So this is how you're gonna grow your skill, right? So now I'm gonna go to the next one. This is the topic, a holiday you enjoy the most, right? So especially in IELTS exam, you need to talk about the topic for 2.5 minutes. Most of the students, they fail in this part. They find it very difficult. So that's why if you practice like this way, you will get it. So before answering this question, we will understand how to make the question. So if you understand how to make the questions, it's going to be easier for you to answer them. So usually, what do you ask if you would like to ask someone else for holiday? আমরা normally যদি holiday সম্পর্কে কাউকে জিজ্ঞেস করতে চাই, কি question আমরা করি, right? Use your common sense. So the first question we ask you, where did you go or where did you visit, right? So please type in the chat box. The first question is, where did you visit or where did you go? Please type in the chat box. Everyone else. The first question we ask is, where did you go? right? That's the first question we always ask. Where did you visit or where did you go? Right? The next question we ask, okay, so if you ask, okay, if I ask you the same question, where did you go for your holiday, right? Last year, what should be your answer? Please type in the chat box. Where did you go for your holiday in the last year? Type in the chat box. If you ask me, where did you go for your holiday last year? I would say I went to Scotland. I went to Scotland for my holiday last year. Type in the chat box. Okay, I went to Cox's Bazar. Okay, I went to Chittagong. Okay, where did you go? I visited Singapore. Okay, I went to Tea Garden. Okay, excellent, excellent. Yeah, that should be answer. So the next question is, when did you go there? When did you go there? When? So he's asking a time, right? When? When did you go there? Is it January? Is it February? Is it 2020? Is it 2021? When did you go there? Please type in the chat box. The question is, when did you go there? When did you go there? Yeah. I'd like to see everyone else answer, everyone's question in the chat box. When did you go there? Right. So we're gonna ask question first. When did you go there? When did you go there? When? No. Type in the chat box only question. When did you go? Okay, yeah, that's right. Sure, that's right. So when did you go there? Type in the chat box. When did you go there? Yeah, that's right. When did you go there? Now, please give me the answer. When did you go there? So if you ask me, I would say I went there in December 2021. I went there in December 2021, right? I visited Scotland in 2021 in December, right? What should be your answer? Please type in the chat box. When did you go there? When did you go there? Okay, I went there in January 2022. Okay, excellent, excellent answer. So type in the chat box very quickly. When did you go there? Okay, next question is, so type in the chat box. How did you go there? Don't give me the answer. Type the question, please. How did you go there? How did you go there? Type in the chat box, please. How did you go there? Type the question, please. How did you go there? Excellent. Excellent. How did you go there? Okay, now give me the answer, please. How did you go there? So if you ask me, I would say, how did you go there? Okay, I went there by train. However, we visited a lot of places. That time we rented a car, right? So now I'm trying to extend my answer. I went there by train. However, when we reached to Glasgow, we rented a car to visit different places. Now I'm extending my answer. So how did you go there? Okay, next question is, type in the chat box. The question is, how long did you stay? 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 Type in the chat box. How long? How long did you stay? Okay, so how long did you stay there? Okay, now please answer me. How long did you stay there? Answer me. How long did you stay there? How long did you stay there? Okay, so Mehdi's answer should be, I stayed there for 5 days, right? I stayed there for 5 days. I stayed there for 15 days. Okay, stayed there. So past tense, right? So did. So how long did you stay there? I stayed there for 5 days. I stayed there for a week. I stayed there for a couple of weeks. I stayed there for a few months. Okay, excellent, excellent answer. So the last one is an interesting memory with that particular holiday, right? So my question is, so when you'd like to describe something, a holiday you enjoyed the most, so which tense should I use? Present or past form? Type in the chat box. Present or past form? Type in the chat box. Present or past? Type in the chat box. So when you'd like to describe a holiday you enjoyed the most, which form you're gonna use? Past form. That's right. That's right. So past form. So now you got to give a presentation here. So now you answer all of them, right? And then this is how you're gonna start. Hi everyone. Today I'd like to share a topic with you. The topic is a holiday I enjoyed the most. Repeat after me. Hi everyone. This is Habib. Today I'd like to share a topic with you. The topic is a holiday I enjoyed the most. Right? So this is how you need to make intro. So once you made the intro, then you're gonna go for one by one and one, right? So we are not asking questions, just you're gonna give a presentation for 2 to 5 minutes, right? So now this is how I need to start. Repeat after me. Hi everyone, this is Habib. Today I'd like to share a topic with you, and the topic is a holiday you enjoyed the most, right? I think it's better to write in the chat box. Can you please write it down? Write down your name. Hi everyone, this is your name. Today I'd like to share with you a topic, and the topic is a holiday I enjoyed the most. Type in the chat box, everyone else. This is how I need to start. Okay, please type in the chat box. Hi everyone, this is Habib, or it's me Habib, or I am Habib. And today I'd like to share a topic with you. The topic is a holiday I enjoyed the most. Very quickly type in the chat box, faster. Okay, Sumaya said, hello everyone, this is Sumaya. Today I'd like to share a topic. The topic is a holiday I enjoyed the most. Excellent, excellent. Thank you, Sumaya. Anybody else? This is how. Okay, hi everyone, I'm Mehdi Hassan. Today I will talk about the holiday I enjoyed the most. Okay, excellent. That sounds good. Mizan said, hi everyone, this is Mizan. Today I'd like to share a topic with you. The topic is a holiday I enjoyed the most, right? Okay, Tammy said, hello everyone, this is Tamid. Today I'd like to share a topic. The topic is a holiday I enjoyed the most. Excellent, excellent. Tamim also said, hi everyone, this is Tanim. Today I'd like to share with all of you a topic. The topic is the holiday I enjoyed the most. Excellent, excellent. This is how you need to start. Very good, excellent. Mukta said, hi everyone, this is Mukta. Now I'm gonna share with you a topic where I visited, and where I visited and I enjoyed the most. Okay, excellent. Okay, you can also say I visited and enjoyed the most. Okay, Shubho said, hi everyone, this is Shubho. I'd like to okay, it's going so fast I can't keep up with it. Imad said, hi everyone, this is Imad. Today I'd like to share with you a topic. The topic is holiday I enjoyed the most. Excellent, excellent. Now you know, right? So after that you need to say a lot of things about the holiday. So okay, so if you ask me to give a presentation on this topic, I would say, hi everyone, this is Habib. Today I'd like to share a topic with you, and that is a holiday I enjoyed the most. I visited a place. The name of the place is Scotland, especially in Glasgow. I visited there, and I went there last year in December, and I went there by train. However, we visited different places in Glasgow, and it's a beautiful city, I would say, and that's why we rented a car as well. And I went there by train, however. So I stayed there for a week because it was a family tour. We visited in different places. We tried different sort of foods, and we took a lot of pictures, and that would be considered as a memory for the future. And I have got so many interesting memory with that particular holiday, but today I'd like to share with you one of them. And it was the journey to Isle of Boat. And I haven't seen such a massive ferry in my life in the UK. So you got to go there and you got to wait in a queue probably for half an hour. And once you got the ticket, then you need to follow the traffic. Then once you get into the what is called ferry, then just you need to stay there. And the most important thing is what I found is very interesting is, you know, in our country, when you get into the ferry, they always ask to leave the people from the bus or car and etc. But this time I found is very opposite, because I think due to COVID, they didn't allow us to go outside and go on the top of the ferry to take some photos and all that stuff. That's the interesting memory. However, we went to the Isle of Boat, and this is a beautiful small island, and very few people live there, but most of the tourists, they go there for hiking and sometimes boating and fishing as well. So yeah, that was the interesting memory with that particular holiday. Thanks for listening. Okay, so this is how all you got to do is you need to keep speaking, and also keep in mind that you got to use most of the time is past form, because when we started speaking with the present form, for example, if you ask me a lot of questions using the present form, and all of a sudden you ask me, why did you, where did you, and it's gonna make me, you know, confused, and probably I might use some sort of present form instead of past form, and this is how we're gonna reduce our marks. So this is how I need to give a presentation, right? So now what I'm gonna do, I will unmute yourself and you need to give a presentation. So please unmute yourself and you need to give a presentation, right? So you got to say at least 2 minutes, and we're gonna start together and we're gonna finish together. Please unmute yourself. 3, 2, 1, go. Let's start. Hi everyone.
Holiday which I enjoyed the most. A couple of months ago, I went like Patron holiday. Bulagan. I went there I go over the moon.
These moments can never like holiday. Cosmetics.
Okay, got it. Thank you. Thanks a lot. So this is your homework. So today, at the end of this class, what I recommend you to go to the Facebook group, IELTS and study in the UK, US, and Canada, and give your presentation. And this is how exactly you need to say, hi, my name is Habib, and today I'd like to share your topic. The topic is a holiday I enjoyed the most. Then you need to keep at least 2 minutes, right? At least 2 minutes. So why I'm sharing these things with you, because first of all, you got to understand how to make questions. So once you understand how to make questions, and then you can identify whether that is present form or past form. So once you see the examiner is asking a question using did, so you got to follow that format. I mean past form, past. And once the examiner is asking you about do or does, then you should follow the present form. So this is how, right? So far we are about to finish the 7 days speaking challenge. So I'd like to share with you a few things. I don't like to go that many minutes. So very quickly, this is the future, right? So this is the future. Can you please type in the chat box? The structure is subject plus will plus verb 1. Please type in the chat box very quickly. Subject plus will plus verb 1. Very quickly. Subject plus will plus verb 1. Very quickly. Subject plus will plus verb 1. Okay, because this is the last class with me, and I don't like to grab something with me. I'd like to give it to you. So subject plus will plus verb 1. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. So this is how we need to practice, right? This is how we need to practice. So we're going to practice a little bit, then we're going to go faster. So this is how we need to practice. I'll practice, we will practice, you'll practice, you'll practice, they'll practice, he'll practice, she'll practice, it will practice, Tony will practice. So we are not saying I will practice. We'll say I will, that means I'll. We will, you will, right? So we're going to make contraction. দুইটা শব্দকে একটা শব্দ বানিয়ে ফেলবো, right? I will, I'll, we will, you will, right? This is how I need to practice. So I'll practice, you'll practice, you'll practice, you'll practice, they'll practice, he'll practice, you'll practice, it will practice, they'll practice. So now I'm gonna unmute yourself. 3, 2, 1, go. Let's just start.
I'll practice,
I'll
will practice,
Practice,
will
practice.
practice, will practice, will practice, they'll practice, will practice, will practice.
Excellent, thank you. So Afia, can you please unmute yourself and give me all the sentences?
I'll practice, we practice, you will practice, you practice, they will practice, he will practice, she will practice, it will practice, Tony will practice.
Okay, thank you. So that's right, thank you. Can you please type in chat box? Thanks, Afia. So we're gonna practice one more time. We're gonna go a bit faster, right? So please unmute yourself. 3, 2, 1, go. Let's just start.
I will practice, we will practice.
You will practice, they will practice, you will practice, you will practice, will practice.
So now the next structure is, so all you got to do is you need to take this will behind the subject to make questions. So can you please type in the chat box, will plus subject plus verb on question mark. Will plus subject plus verb on plus question mark. Will plus subject plus verb on plus question mark. Will plus subject plus verb on plus question mark. Quickly. Will plus subject plus verb on plus question mark. Excellent. So this is the structure we need to use for asking question, right? So now we're gonna practice a little bit. So this is how I need to practice. So will I practice? Will you practice? Will you practice? Will you practice? Will they practice? Will he practice? Will she practice? Will it practice? Will Tony practice? So will I practice? Please unmute yourself and give me all the sentences. Please unmute yourself. 3, 2, 1, go. Let's start.
Will I practice, will you practice,
Will
will
I
you practice,
practice,
will you
will
practice,
I practice, will you 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 practice.
will they practice, will you practice, will they practice, will you practice, will you practice, will
Okay. Thank you. Thanks a lot. So now,
Practice with Tony practice.
now,
Will I
so
practice? We will practice. You practice.
excellent. So now you can see, I mean, who are enjoying the class with me from the day one, it's very easier for them. Just you are following this structure and you know the structure as well. Right. So the next question is, so if you like to ask deep questions, all you got to do is, what's the structure? Type in the chat box. It's gonna be WS plus will plus subject plus verb on plus question mark. Please type in the chat box. WS plus will plus subject plus verb on plus question mark. Quickly type in the chat box. WS plus will plus subject plus verb on plus question mark. So all you got to do is you need to just put WS behind the will, right? Will er pichone amra ki korbo ekta WS word boshiye debo, right? So now this is the structure we need to follow. So we're gonna practice it. Why? So why will I practice? Why will you practice? Why will you practice? Why will they practice? Why will he practice? Why will she practice? Why will it practice? Why will Tony practice? This is how we need to practice, right? So now I'm gonna request all of you to give a presentation. So please unmute yourself. 3, 2, 1, go. Let's start. Why?
Why will you practice,
Why will you practice, why will you
Practice, why will
Practice. Why will
practice,
practice?
will she practice, why will it,
Why will
will
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
While they practice, why will he practice? She practice.
So next one, we're gonna use when. So make sure you give me all the sentences using one breath, right? This is the challenge, right? Dear challengers, make it within a breath, right? So please unmute yourself. 3, 2, 1, go. Let's start. When?
why will you
will
practice,
practice, when will you practice, when will you practice, when will you practice, when will you
practice, when will you practice,
Excellent. Excellent. Next one is how. So you're gonna practice with how. Please unmute yourself. 3, 2, 1, go. Let's start.
how will I
how will I
practice,
practice, how will you practice, how will they practice,
how will you practice,
how will it, how will
Thank you. So now if I ask you, okay, so if I ask you, what will you do tomorrow? What will you do tomorrow, right? So the structure would be, I will get up early in the morning tomorrow, then I'll brush my teeth, I'll make breakfast, I will, right? So this is the structure. Can you remember the first structure for future is subject plus will plus verb 1. Please type in the chat box again. Subject plus will plus verb 1. Subject plus will plus verb 1. So we're going to follow this structure and we're going to make so many sentences so that we can describe the future event, right? So we use future for future event, and this is going to be structure subject plus will plus verb 1. And now I'd like to ask you a question. What will you do tomorrow, right? So all you got to do is you need to say I will, I will, I will, right? So now I will. Okay, so now I'm gonna unmute all of you. So you need to give a presentation, right? So the question is, what will you do tomorrow? Please unmute yourself. 3, 2, 1, go. Let's start.
So,
I'll get up early in the morning.
Early in the morning, then I will brush my teeth, then
First,
make breakfast, and
ready.
have a cup of coffee, and then I will go to office. If I office is have, then I will go to office and take bus to office, and I will send them.
I start my
And I have in the break time I lunch, and then I will start.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. So now I'm going to ask you a few questions, right? So I'm going to ask you a few questions. So please answer me properly, right? So how many questions do you have to practice to develop your fluency? Please type in the chat box. How many questions do you have to practice to increase your fluency? How many questions? Type in the chat box. Only 4. So can you please type in the chat box? What's the first question you need to practice? Type in the chat box. What's the first question you need to practice? What's the first question you need to practice? Type in the chat box. Yeah, that's right, Shubho. Thanks for responding. So what do you do every day? That's the first question you need to practice. What do you do every day, right? And what's the second question you need to practice? 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 What does your favorite person do every day? That's right. What does your favorite person do every day? And what's the third question you need to practice? What's the third question you need to practice? Very quickly, type in the chat box. What did you do yesterday? That's right. That's right. What did you do yesterday? And what the fourth question you need to practice? Fourth question. What the fourth question you need to practice? Fourth question. What will you do tomorrow? What will you do tomorrow? Right? So these are the 4 questions you need to practice. Right? Right. So can you remember what's the mother of all skills? Type in the chat box. What's the mother of all skills? Type in the chat box. What's the mother of all skills? Yeah, that's right. Repetition. So how many times you need to practice these 4 questions and how many days? Type in the chat box. How many times and how many days you need to practice? So 3 times a day for 30 days. 3 times a day for 30 days. Can you please type in the chat box quickly? How many times you need to practice and for how many days? So 3 times a day for 30 days. That's right. That's right. Thank you. Thank you. So now, just I'd like to remind an announcement, right? So I know you are excited to have a class with Steve tomorrow. So I'd like to see how many of you are really excited. Please type in the chat box excited. How many of you are really excited to have a class with Steve? Type in the chat box excited. Okay, excellent. Excellent. Thank you. So I'm also excited. You know, the interesting thing is still I'm learning language. I'm developing myself. There is always another level, right, to improve yourself. So when I get time, I jump into the Steve class and I learn from him because he's the native speaker, right? So all I want from you is, so come to the next class on time and take a lot of notes. And I'm gonna give you a challenge to myself, not yourself. So if you understand Steve, how many of you would like to join him for IELTS course? Type in the chat box, me. If you understand Steve, how many of you will join IELTS preparation course with Steve? Type in the chat box. How many? Okay, got it. Thank you. So you have got limited seats, right? So probably we might get only 10 students. And if you miss this session, I mean this batch, then you need to wait at least 3 to 4 months for the another one, right? And this is how. And Steve, he's very expensive, right? He's very expensive. And I think I pay him per class for 90 minutes is over 5,000 in BDT. প্রতি ক্লাসে আমি তাকে 5,000 টাকার উপরে পে করি, and he's gonna take 20 classes, right? And even sometimes more. So if you just multiply 20 into 5,000, how much money? Please type in the chat box. If you multiply 20 classes into 5,000, how much is that in BDT? Type in the chat box. Right, so type in the chat box very quickly. 1 lakh, right? So I pay him for every batch 1 lakh. You don't have to pay that amount because I know a lot of students, they would like to have the better opportunity to improve their English. So that's why I'm giving this opportunity tomorrow, and the fee will be reasonable price. All you got to do is you need to confirm your seat tomorrow. So if you'd like to have some sort of discussion with your family members, brothers, sisters, parents, right, do so. And our course price is 20,000 taka. Please type in the chat box. How much is the course price? 20,000 taka. Type in the chat box. 20,000 taka, right? So this is the, or 200 pounds, right? So this is the course price for, and you're gonna get more than 60 classes. You're gonna get speaking and listening with Steve. So it's 20,000 taka because I got to pay a lot of money to Steve. However, it's gonna be only for tomorrow and only for this batch, right? So we're gonna give you 50% discount. 50% discount, right? So it's gonna be how much? Type in the chat box. Type in the chat box. How much would be 50% discount? Yeah, that's right. So 10,000 taka. So if you need to discuss with someone else, with your parents, do so. And still, if you think, okay, okay, this is the warning. If you do not understand Steve, please don't join him, right? That means you need to probably go another 10 days speaking challenge or 15 days speaking challenge, right? Because my responsibility is to prepare you for Steve. So once you understand Steve, then Steve will take you from there, and I'm taking the responsibilities because you have enjoyed my class last, let's say, 6 days. So I tried my best to give you the foundation. Now you can speak, you can understand, and the level of understanding with Steve, that's gonna be a very important factor. So if you understand Steve, don't hesitate. Just jump into the course and change your life. And can you remember Warren Buffett, his first investment was to a course. My first investment was with Randy Peterson. I always encourage you to learn from native speaker, right? Because you got to improve yourself in another level, right? So once you learn English from a native speaker, you will see your accent, your pronunciation, your confidence level, that's gonna go so up. So yeah, so if you miss tomorrow's class, you're gonna miss 5,000 taka, right? Because I got to pay anyway. So if you miss tomorrow's class with this Steve, How much money you gonna miss? Type in the chat box. How much money you gonna miss? Right? So yeah, 5,000. So make sure the class is worth of 5,000 tomorrow. So join him on time. And thank you. Thank you. It was my pleasure to serve you. I played full from my abundance. And yeah, I'll miss you. I'll miss you. Anyway, I'll see you tomorrow, but the class will be conducted by his team. Right? So thank you, everyone, and see you tomorrow.